Hello my friends, today we are here at Clementon Park and Splash World. I think it's it's been reopened recently. I think it was acquired by a different owner not too long ago and reopened in 2021 or so. The water park, I think, was their priority at first, but now I'm visiting finally because Hellcat, their wooden roller coaster here, has recently opened. So I invite you to come along, let's go explore. Here's kind of a quick lookout on the map of how this park is organized. It's basically half water park and then half dry park. I don't usually do too many clips of the water park, but just to give you a sense of what's going on here. And there it is. As you first enter the park, you will be greeted by this Larson loop and that small Ferris wheel in the back, and then serves as sort of like a midway over here. And then off to the side, I didn't even think it was operating until I just saw it running, is this drop zone tower ride. So just exploring the midway a little bit further, it's mostly games. They do have over here Dippin' Dots, which I appreciate on a hot day like today. It is 95 degrees, but also I'm noticing that it's mostly asphalt and just rides and such plop down on top of it. It would be nice to see some more trees, some more, anything. I see some bushes though. How exciting. Right here in the center of the midway is the CP Huntington, their railroad, their train station here, which goes around the park and around Hellcat from what I recall. And the animals that I'm seeing, hold on, the animals that I'm seeing, the little statues here, are giving me some serious Bowcraft vibes. I don't know if you guys remember, that's a defunct park that I actually worked at. Going further down the midway, we have Whack-A-Mole and a couple of other games, guest services over here on the left. And then I think a ride that still needs to be repaired up ahead. Unsurprisingly, the funnel cakes have the longest line in the park here. And if we turn around here, this will someday, I guess, be the swing ride that'll be here at the park. It looks like they're still in a state of getting everything back to 100%. From the swings, we're going to quickly turn on over this way and kind of veer off a little bit because I believe their kiddie coaster is over this way. All right, just for reference, there are the swings. We veered off a little bit. Here are some rides that aren't operating. We have one of those balloon rides. And then over here, I'm not quite sure which flat ride this one is. Kite Flyer, I believe? Something like that. But yeah, again, they're still getting back up to 100%. And holy smokes, back there. I don't know if it's going to focus quickly, but you can kind of see how busy it is. And it's great to see that because they did just recently reopen. And these types of like old school trolley parks are kind of a dying breed. And that is one thing that I forgot to mention, is that this is one of maybe a dozen or so trolley parks that have been operating in some sort of way, maybe not continuously. This one in particular opened in 1907 and then operated, I think, almost all the way up to 2019 when it had to go up for auction. Pandemic hits, and then the owners that reopened Indiana Beach, they came out here and did the same thing. Got it all squared away, and then in 2021 it was able to reopen. But the cool thing is, with the history, like, people were coming by trolley from Camden, New Jersey, out this way. This was the last stop, when leisure time became a thing way back in the day. I have never seen a dragon line look so crazy before, but this will be credit number 302 for me after my trip from Kings Island, which pushed me over 300. And if you're curious, I rode Orion for my 300 just because it has that 300-foot drop. But this one with Dragon, I think most of you guys know exactly what to expect. So turning from Dragon and starting to make our way back, there is an area here, a covered area specifically, where they have their assortment of kiddie rides that just kind of go around and around. I always shy away from taking video or photo around the kids areas, but I just wanted to point it out and just appreciate the fact that it's entirely localized in a covered area. I figured since nobody is on here and it's not operating, I will show you the cutest little galleons swinging ship that I have seen. That's pretty amazing. And Hellcat is just behind there. I think we're gonna just keep on going this way. So I'm standing here right by the entrance, and I noticed that the supports, they are not really wood. I see some wood, but it's mostly steel lattice here. It was retracked not too long ago, I think by GCI, but it opened in 2004. It's S&S, if I recall correctly. And yeah, we're gonna just I'm gonna go ahead and go on this. This will be credit number 303. I'm right by the chain for the lift hill, so I have no idea how bad the sound is. Actually, let's check. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird sound underneath all of this, but the first drop coming out of it, I got tossed around and bucked around like nobody's business. Oh, there it goes. But yeah, it wasn't the smoothest experience overall, but the most prevalent, like, tossing around and roughness was coming out of the first drop, which I guess is where you're getting the top speed of, is it like 55 miles per hour or something like that. But then there is a pretty cool helix that's involved there, and there's some pretty good forces there. I wish that you could take it a little faster so you could feel those laterals a little bit more, but there's some decent laterals in there. And then from there, there's just a couple more hills and then like bunny hills to get you back to the station. So the whole thing is mostly like laterals. There wasn't much air that I could notice, but I think that might be because they are only running half of the train. So the front half of the train is the only thing that you can sit in. So without being able to actually sit in the back row, I can't really tell you whether or not you would get air if you were in the back. But anyway, I'm gonna go do it again, and I don't know, see how it fares. I did it in the front row just because it was available, and then did it in the furthest back that was available. So we're gonna compare real quick. It looks like you require a group wristband to enter the catering area, which unfortunately is the area where you get the best views of Hellcat. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be taking any photo or B-roll here. I went ahead and asked them, but no, they don't want anybody who's not allowed in there, even if it's just to take photos innocently enough. But, oh well, if you were wondering, that's the reason why it's not a full production on this coaster. And underneath the shadow of Hellcat's first drop, we have this tilt-a-whirl. I swear, it's got like every classic little flat ride that you can think of. Over here is a nice little shaded eating area, and then here is kind of like the collection of different things that you can eat here. So I took a quick little walkthrough to see what the menus were, and believe it or not, they actually have Pizza Hut and Chicky and Pete's in there, along with one other one that specializes in like pretzel dogs. Color me surprised that they have like major vendors all under there, but unfortunately the line looks brutal. It looks like there's some people that are working really hard today. Well, there it goes again. While I was doing that clip, I figured I might as well give you guys another look at it. I guess we should head on over that way. So this is kind of wild to see. There aren't as many like logs on the log flume as, say, Great Adventures, but it does have that turntable that kind of just goes around in a circle for loading. And then I believe there, as it goes over the lake, is the last drop. I think there's just 2 drops here, but it's got a cool look to it if we back out again, because it is over the lake. Just a little view here. I moved a little bit further down so we could kind of see the, let's lift this. You can see that all the supports and everything are in this lake, which is pretty fun. I've been waiting for one to go by here. Not that way, but down the first drop. I think that one's empty though. And then right next to the log flume over here is their scrambler ride. And then I believe there's just a galleon, and we might have completed the loop already. Well, that doesn't appear to be operating, unfortunately, but I don't believe we have talked about their little chance carousel here, which is one of my favorites because it does have like the seahorse or sea dragon or whatever we want to call it. And I wish that the music was a little bit louder because it does add a vibe, which is one thing. It reminds me that there is no music whatsoever anywhere in the park. I found it kind of interesting that there is some grass, like a little grassy area here in front of Sea Dragon. It just doesn't vibe with all the other bits of asphalt that I've seen, but it's a cool looking, like tiny little fenced in space. Let me back up a sec, because there is a fence here. Found that interesting. So the walk up to it is cool, and there are people waiting for it. But yeah, this must actually look pretty cool at night. I wonder what even this park does look at night. I didn't notice too many lighting packages, but the park unfortunately closes at 8, so there's limited operations at the moment. Found a nice little quiet place to sit, but like I said, there's no music blasting anywhere. The only music that I heard was coming from the carousel, which is kind of wild to me. It looks like they're killing it with the water park. I know I haven't really covered it at all, but just from what I can see, it is packed. They only have like a handful of rides that still need to be, back and up and running, and then they're basically back to 100%, which is impressive given that I've heard that the state of things was pretty dire in 2019, where they shut very abruptly. Also, I haven't mentioned it, but I've been on a little quest to kind of complete all the roller coasters in New Jersey, and this means I think I have 2 left, possibly, if I count the ones that are down at the shore, because I haven't been back since 2020. I think Casino Pier opened a new roller coaster, and then I think Jenkinson's is about to open a new one, and that'll be it. I'll have done everything unless we count the standing but not operating Dragon at Blackbeard's or something like that down towards the shore. But yeah, it's exciting to be able to have been on this. I wasn't even aware of it, and then it wasn't operating the entire time I was aware of it because it closed. So it's nice to kind of be able to close a chapter on that and kind of keep an eye out to see how they're doing. Obviously, their priority is going to be getting everything at 100% and opening all of these rides that I've seen. But I do hope in the near future for them to pay homage to the over 100 years of history that this park has been operating. That would be a wonderful idea. And I don't think they have much room for expansion, so I don't expect them to open a new coaster. I think Hellcat might be the biggest offering here. I could see them trying to find a way, given like the parking lots and some little places they could put it in. But for the most part, I don't expect it to really grow in terms of ride-wise too much from what is currently here. That being said, it's a very well-run park. Operations have been very nice, very quick. And it's been getting busier and busier as I kind of made my way around because people are leaving the water park. And other than the ops, it is a pretty nice, clean park. I guess, like most parks, the tough thing is once you only have one food place, one location where you can actually get food, it's going to be slammed, and hopefully they can do something about that. But anyway, guys, all that being said, that's going to do it for my afternoon here at Clementon Park Splash World. Really excited that I got to come down here, and I hope you enjoyed. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
We did Alex, and we're making our own adventure. Yeah.